YouTubers, feel free to go ahead and skip ahead about a minute here while I get the last couple of things set up and give time for people to get into the channel. Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Phil Gallagher. I run ThrabenU University, and today we're streaming with Elves. So this was a goal stream for reaching 900 followers, and I thought it would be fun to just kind of like play the enemy for a day, so to speak. In the art of war, it says, to know your enemy, you must become your enemy. So I'm doing the best to do that today. I've got my best Julian apparel on. You know, I thought I'd look the part. You know, we've infiltrated Julian's database. We've come up with his deck list. We've got his recent deck list. We've got the Nintendo gear. Got a Yoshi here. We're good to go. Now, Matt, don't you worry. I got that Yoshi. It's right here. So we have become the enemy to the best of our ability. And so today we're going to be piloting Elves. So let's look at Julian's deck list, and I like a lot of what's going on here. So assuming you know little about Elves other than just like D&T loses to it, Elves is essentially a combo deck built around 3 different combos. Combo number 1. You use Glimpse of Nature to draw a huge majority, or sometimes even all of your deck, and then cobble together a kill somehow. Number 2, you just get 4 mana and cast Natural Order. And a Craterhoof Behemoth enters the battlefield from that, and it gets +X, as do all of your other creatures, where X is the number of creatures you control. And that usually runs over most opponents pretty easily. Combo number 3 is the subtle combo, but probably the best combo in the deck. And that's just using Wirewood Symbiote, which says, return an elf you control to its owner's hand, untap target creature. You use that to bounce Elvish Visionary. And when you do so, you get to draw a card. Oh, excuse me, that's wrong. Let me rephrase that. When Elvish Visionary enters the battlefield, you get to tutor for a random card in your deck. You get to demonic tutor for a random card in your deck. That's the way Julian puts it, because all the cards in the deck are good, according to him. And honestly, most of the cards in this deck are pretty good. So when a lot of your creatures are redundant, that is, a lot of them are 1 mana with some sort of mana-producing ability or something that adds to your ability to produce mana, it doesn't really matter which one you draw in a lot of scenarios. So just Elvish Visionary giving you another card usually means another mana. So it's super, super useful. I really like some things about this Elves list in particular. Number 1, there is a split between Fyndhorn Elves and Llanowar Elves, just because, just minor tactical advantage. I do really like having those cards because it makes it easier to ramp into a turn 2 choke, and that's really strong against the format right now. Like, I am on my I love enchantments rampage right now, and choke, beautiful, fits the bill. Number 2, I like that this build has minimal nonsense in the main deck. A lot of times Elves decks bog themselves down by filling up with things like Scavenging Ooze, Reclamation, Sage, and a whole bunch of other nonsense that takes away from the combo portion of the deck. Like sometimes you'll see things like Renrun's Packmaster that's in there just as another angle of attack. And I think right now, just kind of going fast is a great game 1 strategy, and then in games 2 and 3, you can have a little bit more wiggle room to go and do other things that actually interact with your opponent. I do accept the concession that Reclamation Sage is really important in the main deck right now, especially with Red Prison running around and just having things like Ensnaring Bridge, Chalice of the Void, and even Blood Moon is kind of annoying, right? So if you look at this deck, there's actually only 3 forests. So you can get slowed down a surprising amount by a Blood Moon. It's never going to like actually kill you because you have all these creatures that produce mana. But it can be a nuisance. So just having outs to those sorts of cards in the main deck is nice. And you really only need one. With the draw power of Glimpse of Nature and Elvish Visionary, as well as the tutoring power of Green Sun Zenith and, to a lesser degree, Natural Order, you can find a 1-of relatively easily in a long game. So let's look at the sideboard. The sideboard essentially does 3 things. The first, let me like repile these. So the first pile here is sort of your anti-combo pile, right? Like these are cards that fight unfair decks. So if you run into something like Red-Black Reanimator or, you know, your Ant decks, these are the sorts of things that bother them. So like pile number 2 here is, all right, I guess, all right. So like how I originally envisioned the sideboard was like we have the things for unfair matchups, we have the things to fight random cards that hose us, things like, say, Containment Priest, Chalice of the Void, and so forth. And then we have things that come in various fair matchups for assorted reasons. We have 2 other natural order targets in the board, Progenitus as a 10/10 true name nemesis, essentially, and Elder Scale Worm as this sort of like weird mid-rangey card. It reads, it's a 7/7 trample for 7 mana. If it enters the battlefield, if your life total is less than 7, your life total becomes 7. As long as you have 7 or more life, damage that would reduce your life total to less than 7 reduces it to 7 instead. So for some decks, that might just be an absolutely unbeatable tutor target. One other thing that's a little unusual about this deck is that it is a 61-card main deck intentionally. That is not an error on Julian's part. Because this deck has so much draw power and a very good toolbox package with Green Sun Zenith, and again, to a lesser extent, Natural Order, it's okay to run a few extra cards. And it's not something that is going to be a hindrance. In fact, like, having that 1 extra card in there might even be good in some instances. We can also board down to 60 for post-sideboard games for the games where drawing certain cards are extremely relevant. Okay, so there's my deck tech for Elves. I've played this deck a little bit on paper. I owned it. I've played it in a handful of like FNM level events, maybe once at competitive REL. It's a fun deck. It's very explosive, very powerful. This will be my first time playing it on Magic Online. So we'll see if I mess up during all the clicking and such that's going to happen. But I hope you enjoy this change of pace from our usual taxation content. And I do want to take this opportunity to say, subs, please check your email at some point in the next couple of days. There is a Google form that has been sent out for you to help me select my next set of follower reward deck lists. You know, we've still got 100 to go until I do the double Nick Fit stream, but we need to start thinking about that. So subs, you're gonna get choice of that. How often do you think we're gonna draw Progenitus? Every time I board it in. I expect to draw Progenitus every time we board it in. Now, if we can hardcast a Progenitus, that'd be cool, right? And it's theoretically possible. Like with Birchlore Rangers, we can theoretically hardcast a Progenitus with like Birchlore and Deathrite Shaman and untapping things repeatedly. It's something I've done in paper before exactly once. I did not need to do it in order to win, but I had already drawn most of my deck, and I decided, hey, let's see if I can do this. And it turns out I could. Oh, Bruce by the Magic Guy, thank you very much for hosting. I appreciate your support. For those of you just joining in, hi, my name's Phil Gallagher. Today we're streaming with a follower goal deck list. We are playing with Julian's Elves deck list. And that looks like this. It's a very nice, very, very sleek Elves list. I'm a big, big fan of it. Alright, chat, do you have any questions while we're queuing here? Looks like it's going to take a little while to get a match. If so, throw it out there. Woohoo! Live! Hey, DNT24, I'm glad you get to see me live. You get to watch me play the enemy today. Alright, I won the die roll. I get to play first. That's probably a good thing for a combo deck. Don't really know what my opponent's playing. They have a Grixis Delver result this year, but they played other things as well. Alright, so what does my hand do? My hand goes Llanowar Elves into Pendelhaven, 3 mana on turn 2, Green Sun Zenith for Elvish Visionary. Get a redraw. I guess I'm in for that. This hand isn't all that impressive. Right, DNT24. In order to know our enemy, we must become our enemy. So I've tried to become the leader of the enemy. I've tried to become Julian. I have worn his sort of apparel. I'm playing his deck list. We'll see if I can get wins like Julian, though. That part might be tricky. It is Filio. Wouldn't a full-body Yoshi suit be better if you wanted to become Julian? If by better you mean more entertaining. Absolutely. Absolutely. Alright, so we're probably playing against Rug Delver. I still think I just want a Green Sun Zenith, even though it rams us into a daze. Because if I, like, Elvish Visionary get a Glimpse, I would be so set up for a Glimpse kill next turn. See how good these green cards are? My opponent Force of Willed a a green 1/1 draw card. That's what they just did. That's how good my cards are. Ken, this is the first game I just started. Oh, never mind, it is Grixis Delver. Well, I mean, I guess it could still be Rug Delver that plays Young Pyromancer, but it appears that it's Grixis Delver that just lit on drop. Probably considering my history. Oh, I was so excited. I don't think I want to play out my Cradle yet. So I'm going to play my Death Rat Shaman into a Daze. You know, our opponent has foils, but what does that really matter, you know? Well, this isn't the best. How much mana do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still quite a bit off from Behemoth. If I play a Cradle now, and I draw another Cradle, I'd only have 7, so I don't need to play this yet. All right, this is something. I missed 2 points of damage there. I could have attacked him with Nettle Sentinel and then gone to town by casting the Death Rat. All right, opponent literally had it all that game. There was not anything I could have done. So, what happens if we get to my turn? So if we get to my turn, I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana, or I can cast, like, Heritage Druid, go up to 5, 6, 7, 8 mana, cast a Crater Hoof, untap that, swing in for lethal. So I had the kill on my turn. Opponent had to have the bolt there. That's sad. What's your hat? It's a Mario hat. I'm trying to like channel my inner Julian. I figure it'll help me get wins. I don't really know how to sideboard. Like, I know I don't want this Reclamation Sage, but I don't know, like, how in I'm supposed to go on some of the stuff. I feel like I'm supposed to bring in the Decays and Oozes. Like, I think I bring in some number of these and this guy. And I cut this Rex Sage and some number of these natural orders. I feel like something like this is correct. I don't know if I want to go so deep as the 4th decay. And I don't know that I want to choke. Choke seems acceptable, but my opponent's likely to get ahead. Like, if my opponent gets ahead on board, the choke doesn't matter. And if my opponent isn't ahead on board, they're probably just dying. The reason I think I board out the natural orders is that they're poor against counter spells. It's also possible that I'm supposed to trim 1 Crater Hoof. And bring in this idiot. I don't know that they can beat this idiot. Let's play this idiot. It seems fun. Fun and correct are different words, but... This hand seems great. I will keep this. Holy shit, are they Force of Willing a Deathrite Shaman? Okay. These green cards are so good. Well, I guess I boarded out the Rex Sage, so that's there forever. No, that's not there forever. I can just, like, decay that. I guess this only stops Green Sun at this point, so it's not even that scary. There's probably a world where I'm supposed to do nothing this turn, just, like, pass the turn, end of... I think I want to, like, sandbag the Nettle Sentinel and the Glimpse for 1 turn in an attempt to, like, actually go off next turn. Because if I draw, like, 1 more 1-drop, I'm so much more comfortable trying to go off. So let's act under the assumption that my opponent's Mana Light. If they're Mana Light, I can just, like, nug this Pyro here, get in for 2, pass, and then next turn go for a Glimpse kill. And if my opponent can't put another threat on the table and I just, like, miss on a 1-drop, I can just, like, sit back and not do anything else. Ooh. According to Julian's playstyle, this is where I like throw on some crazy fanfare and just go like ba-dum, 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 bum, 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 ba-dum, 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 ba-da-dum, 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 and go to town. Do I need to play the Cradle this turn? I don't really have a way to untap the Cradle, so I don't. I can just sandbag that. Oh, so I have to put these on the stack. That's okay. We produced a few cards out of that. I have big mana remaining, and if I draw Decay, I can get rid of that. If I draw a 1-mana Idiot, I can like try to Glimpse again. So that was not the best Glimpse, but it was a great start. Elves? Yeah. This is a follower goal for 900 followers stream. Ooh, okay, my opponent has a Force of Will now. I might have just held that Brainstorm if I were them, to like guarantee that they have like Force Up. No, this is my first round. Stupid Grafdigger's Cage. Okay, so they wanted to flip to their own Force, I see. I did it. Despite the cage not playing so well with my hand. If I know my opponent has cage, do I actually change anything about my sideboarding? I don't think so. Like, I still have a couple of decays in that can answer the cage, if need be. No, I think what it is fine. Yes, I would consider any donation deck list. I essentially have two things that I worry about. Number one, is the viewer experience going to be okay? Number two, is there anything about the deck list that would make it poor for a viewer experience? Like, it involves an infinite combo that would take a ton of clicking and just would, like, make it terrible to watch. But other than that, I would consider any legacy deck list and I'm pretty well versed in Legacy, so to some degree of competence, I can play most Legacy decks. I don't know that I want to go up to 4 decays. I've played some Ant before. Actually, when I was first traveling to events, the way we passed time on the car rides was just goldfishing Ant. That's what we did. I don't know. Green Sun Zenith's really good. Like, I get that it's soft to, like, the Spell Pierce type cards, but otherwise it's kind of nuts. This is super awkward. So I would like to play Ooze once I have enough mana available so that I can put it out of Lightning Bolt range. But I can't actually Ooze and Glimpse in the correct order this turn. I think I'm probably supposed to pass. And then hope to draw a 1-drop so I can Glimpse and try to start something. Alternatively, I can take a little bit of a risk and play Cradle and then pass, so that if my opponent doesn't have a Wasteland, I have a very great chance of going off if I get to start a Glimpse. I'm on a Mulda 5 and my opponent has already disrupted me twice, so my setup's not here. I might need to do something a little risky to win. So if I draw a 1-drop next turn and I do nothing, I go Glimpse, cast a 1-drop, the Cradle still doesn't produce any mana until the 1-drop resolves, and then I can cast a second 1-drop. That's okay, but not the greatest. So I think I'm gonna take a risky line and play out this Cradle. It's a high-risk, high-reward line. Let's see if we get Wastelanded. Yeah, Goldfishing Ant is super fun. I enjoy it a lot. Yeah, so now my opponent knows that they can look for Wasteland to take me off this Cradle. Though honestly, if they had something like a Spell Pierce, then just like playing an island to hold up Spell Pierce might be better than getting rid of Cradle. Well, that can do things. It's awkward. This can get dazed right here. Alright. My opponent has counterspelled every play I've made this game. That's good. Oh, jeez. Well, the good news is my opponent hasn't seen my hand yet. The bad news is that even if they miss with Cabal Therapy, they can just, like, sack a Delver, flash it back, and take both the Glimpses. Yep. So I'm not dead yet. Unless my opponent just has a bolt to, like, literally have it all. Alright. I could not win that one. Like, I mulled to 5, my opponent forced my first 3 plays, Cabal Therapied my follow-up play, had bolt to kill me. Alright. That's okay. That was rough. I was on the wrong side of variance there. Not mad, just did not work out. Looks like my opponent has played Miracles and Grixis Delver in the past. Either way, I'm keeping this because it has the possibility of setting up, like, Wirewood, Symbiote, Elvish Visionary combo. Smells like Miracles. Alright, let's see if we get Terminus this turn. Well, isn't that something? How greedy do I want to get? Because the greedy play is like, lead on Heritage Druid, get it to produce a buttload of mana, then Green Sun Zenith for Rex Sage, get rid of Counterbalance. I get super wrecked if my opponent has a 1-drop on top, but I get so far ahead if they don't. I'm going in. Counterspells on top. Yum. So that's 3 mana. So Rex Sage would be 4 mana. Untap target creature, that'll be Deathrite Shaman. Return an elf, that'll be Elvish Visionary. Ooh boy, I have mana. So I'm going to cast a Wirewood Symbiote, which my opponent will probably use their counterspell on, because it's a super annoying card. Nope. Okay. So they want to counterspell my Elvish Visionary. Probably just won't let them do that. I might have 18 now that I played the Cradle, JPA. So even if my opponent gets the Terminus, I do still get to bounce 2 Elves. And if they Terminus, they won't have Counterspell up. Never mind, now they will. Ooh, neat. So this turn's going to be fun for me. So I cast Elvish Visionary, which is going to eat a Counterspell. And then I'm going to Natural Order. Yeah! Go Elves! So JPA, if I play out the second Visionary and my opponent Terminuses, I still do get to bounce an Elf. So it's not really extending further into a Terminus. And because my opponent has that Counterspell, I'm unlikely to assemble Wirewood and Visionary as well. So I think it's okay. So normally, this is the sort of matchup that I'd want like the Thoughtseize type stuff for, but that's not here. So Choke's good, and I can probably afford to play a couple of Decays for counterbalance, and Mentor to a lesser extent. And maybe I just bring in the Ooze as the body. What don't I want? I don't want Natural Orders. Like, they're just really bad against counterspells. From there, I'm not exactly sure. Like, I can see myself trimming some of the stuff that normally combos. So, like, I can see going down a couple of Nettle Sentinels and, like, maybe down Aquarian Ranger or something like that, just because, like, the possibility of me, like, glimpse chaining is reduced, and I'm more likely to kind of play a weird attrition game. Okay, yeah, so on the attrition game front, I should probably get rid of one of those. And then, like, maybe trim like that and go down to 60 cards. Hold Hold on, I got my Yoshi. I got my Yoshi right here. This is the best I have. Oh yeah, we're gonna choke. That's what I'm here for. Wait, why can't I submit my deck? Do I have to play 61 cards since I registered 61 cards? Because that's a huge bug, if so. I do. Well, that's kind of frustrating. That's not how Magic works. I'm going to keep this very awkward hand. But it has double glimpse, so in the late game, I'm going to be able to refuel really well. Oh god, why did I draw that? So I think because I have both of these glimpses, I'm just going to play a Dryad Arbor and pass. And if it gets swords, that's not that big of a deal. So, like, my current plan is, like, play turn 2 Visionary, and then turn 3 maybe go for my first Glimpse Chain, depending on kind of what happens. Well, sure, I do want to hit my land drops in the early game. I agree with that to some extent. Yes, I agree. That's why I got the forest, even though there was probably minimal need for me to get it there. Alright, let's go. Ooh, it just resolved. So I think that means I'm going to want to, like, play Elf. I will get the Bayou with this one, though. So my opponent is just looking at the top card of their library so that they can F6. That's giving up hope. No, I believe that it's... I'm pretty sure I'm correct that if you start with more than 60 cards in your main deck, you can board down from that. If they had the Force, why didn't they force the Glimpse, though? Like, that's the card that, like, puts me so, like, ahead. Yeah, and I just can't do it on Moto, so that's just a bug. Yeah, I'm gonna look into the rules of that, like, from a technical standpoint. No, F pause. I don't think that's right. I'm saying based on my gut feeling and my understanding of the rules that Moto is wrong, but I might not be correct. I'm willing to accept that I might not be correct here. So if that resolved, I think my next spell is going to resolve too. So keeping that in mind, I'm going to do this. No, I'm not going to attack first because there's a very good chance that I might just produce lethal this turn. I did not see that Donatha list. Hey, Romario. We're comboing off with Elves. Alright. Chat, I'm going to ignore you for a minute because I can't do chat and go off with Elves at the same time. Alright. So I untap a creature, return a forest. Suppose I could have just used that green sun to kill. By just, like, playing Cradle. But what fun would that be? Oh, I do have always yes clicked for those already. I have Birch Low Rangers yet? I guess I can just untap a Deathrite Shaman. Do I have a non-summoning sick Deathrite Shaman? I want to Abrupt Decay the Soothsaying. Guess I keep going until I can do so. Alright, so a Green Sun for 1. Alright, there's Birchlore. Man, if I knew they were going to do that, I would have, like, stopped going off a long time ago. Alright, now they're done with me. Yeah, like if they terminus me, I will just go off again the next turn very easily. I'm not worried about that there. Yeah, like if they were dead, if they didn't actually have the brainstorm there, like what are they waiting on? Like I'm like 100% to kill them that turn. Like with 3 different glimpse triggers going. All right, so chat, where'd you end up on that sideboarding thing? Okay, so it's not when you register, it's just period. They cannot have more than 15 cards. Interesting. I have been told that rule very wrong many times then. I'll dig into the rules later today and like confirm that. I've 100% done something illegal during many tournaments then. Because I've played 61 cards and boarded down to 60 a whole bunch. I thought that was okay. Alright, well, today I learned. Okay, I'll look through the chat later and get the exact rule quote. Okay, thank you. Oh man, this one probably gets there on turn 2, right? So turn 1, I go Green Sun Zenith, get Dryad Arbor. Turn 2. Or no, I guess it can't. So turn 1 is Glimpse for Dryad Arbor. Or sorry, Green Sun Zenith for Dryad Arbor. Then I can go like Glimpse, play 1 Idiot, get 1 redraw. So it doesn't get there turn 2. But I probably go like hell turn 3. Yes, Quarian Ranger would be real spicy. That would do it. Gamer Champ, not exactly, but very close. Like, there are points where you maybe don't have infinite mana, but you have enough mana to do whatever it is you need to be doing pretty easily. It's rarely, like, technically infinite, but enough mana to cast everything in your deck, yeah. Oh. That does it, though, right? Because now I go, like, Glimpse, cast 1 drop, play Gaia's Cradle, have 2 mana, cast Heritage Druid. If I draw 1 more guy, I just go. That was a stellar draw. Alright, that's a little unfortunate. That is also a little unfortunate. So I'm just going to try to do the same thing again. I'm going to play Verdant Catacombs and pass, and then at my opponent's end step, I'm going to fetch a Dryad Arbor. Oh, okay, so you want to think about playing against Elves, sure. So the, like, scariest, like, they're doing their own thing mana situations, that's fine, involve a Heritage Druid and double Nettle Sentinel, or, like, double Nettle Sentinel and Birchlore Rangers. Those are the sorts of scenarios where, if they keep drawing 1-drops, they just keep going. Yep, that's acceptable. Okay, so what's the game plan now? I'm under a pretty swift clock. I guess the game plan is get up to enough mana to hardcast Craterhoof. So how do I do that? I can, like, go cast Finhorned Elf, cast Heritage Druid, Green Sun Zenith for a creature, have 4, 5, 6. So if these are all creatures, that's 3, 4. So Cradle will tap for 4 next turn. 5, 6, 7, 8. I can just, like, hardcast Craterhoof next turn. So that's decent. Can I do that without playing Cradle this turn? No, I probably need to play out all these cards this turn. So that would be Dryad Arbor for Finhorn Elves. Tap Guy's Cradle, Heritage Druid. Ooh, no, then I'd have to Green Sun for 0. That's for this. Then that's this. That's 1 there. Then that's 0, so that doesn't work. So I can actually do this without playing Guy's Cradle this turn and protect it. Yeah, Donatha is probably an acceptable but underwhelming flex slot choice, if I were to guess. I haven't played with the card in D&T. Well, him is brutal. Kind of thought my opponent was Grixis Delver, but now it's looking like it might not be with 100% certainty. Him's not common in pile. Sorry, him's not common in Delver, is what I meant to say. Pretty convincing Bug Delver with this Volcanic Island in play. Okay, so I can go Quirion Ranger, make 3 mana, 4 mana, 5 mana, untap, 6 mana. So I can get pretty close to casting this Green Sun Zenith for a Crater Hoof. But probably not close enough to, like, not cast this spell this turn. So I think I'm going to cast this first, because it would protect my Dryad Arbor from a removal spell. Although I think if my opponent had one and they wanted to use it on this, they already would have done so. Never mind. The misdirection is real. I see what you're saying, chat. The other Dryad Arbor's already gone from earlier in the game. Well, that's not good. Not sure exactly what I'm going to be drawing to at this point. I guess just like Natural Order is sweet. That'll be lethal. A Green Sun Zenith or a Wirewood Symbiote would be okay, but I'm really under the gun. Or am I just dead? So this is 9, 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are at least 4 instants or sorceries in the graveyard. Yeah, so I am just dead. Yes, I am looking forward to testing Brightling. I've picked up a pair, so I'm going to test that, you know. I don't know that I'm going to actually play it in my deck for the Duel for Duels this weekend, but I do intend on playing that card. All right, opponent, what on earth is the holdup here? Why do you want blue mana? What are you doing? You have no cards in hand. Opponent is very confused. I should just be dead, but opponent might not know how the cards work. Might not be dead. I will play something within a card or two of the last mono white list that I streamed with. All right, my opponent's taking too long. I've gotten bored. I'm going to concede. I am just dead on board. Was not getting there. Okay, so I guess I'm playing against some sort of like check pile deck, or maybe like the Kess pile deck. So I think I like the Progenitus plan. I think I like the chokes. And I think I like the ooze. I don't think the rest of the cards are very good. Actually, I probably need a couple of these for Leovold, right? Like, Leovold's a beating. I didn't consider that initially. So this probably does borderline nothing. I usually start out by cutting one of those. Nuddle Sentinel kind of sucks versus Baleful Strix. Yes, I will consider a Pithing Needle in the mono white sideboard. I'm not going to talk about the exact deck list I'm going to play because I am going to be making some changes from what I did, and I have put most of my tricks on the table, but I have to keep a couple to myself. So I need to cut 2 more cards. Just like cut another Quirion Ranger. And then I don't know. Maybe I'm overboarding if I don't know what card I want to take out at this point. It could be the Birchlaw Rangers. Oop. I'm going to keep any hand that has choke in it. Choke's crazy. Efric, this was one of the follower goals. We played the enemy, you know? The art of war. To know your enemy, you must become your enemy. And what is that? And Sifali, I do also not know what deck list I'm going to play in the Duels for Duels event to a certain extent. I'm going to try out a couple of things on Friday, and that will dictate exactly which one of the lists that I've come up with I'm going to play. Because I do have a couple in mind. Like there's an experimental deck list, there's a safe deck list, there's a deck list that hedges against a couple of things based on what I see there on Friday. So I'm kind of playing it by ear a little bit. I've got 2 deck lists printed out, and a couple cards from those can be changed pretty easily. One for one on drawing Progenitus once we've bordered it in. It's an event at SCG-Con. It's the big Legacy event on Saturday and Sunday at SCG-Con. Romario, I've done it before. But Operation Hydra has failed. It is a Hydra, right? Yeah. Our hand sucks, by the way. If this choke gets countered, I probably lose. Yep. Alright, so I have 3 blanks, 1 not good card, and 1 card that currently does nothing. Bad combo. Yes, Duels for Duels and SCG-Con, that stuff's all this weekend. So it all begins tomorrow. I haven't played Fauna Shaman in Legacy in many moons. Yes, Symbiote would be a pretty baller draw. I probably just would have taken 2 if I were the opponent there. So the reason I'm playing out this Dryad Arbor is so that if I draw a 1-drop and I start going off next turn, I have the option to like play a Cradle and get 1 more mana. I did say that I would have Progenitus in hand every time. Draws have not been good. We can now produce green-green and black-black for Progenitus. So we're 2/5 of the way there. But they're the easy 2/5. Here comes a Leovold. That jerk. Opponent playing very conservatively. Really glad I boarded in an Abrupt Decay or 2. Otherwise, I just would have, like, lost the game right there. Oh man, opponent does have more and better elves than me. That's so embarrassing. Well, hopefully I make a whole bunch of elves, and I show him who's boss. Why is my opponent taking so long with their priority passes? I don't think there's that much to think about here. Like, I conceded game 1 because I got bored. Maybe I shouldn't have. Just, like, clock them out because they're not doing anything. I'm going to assume that my opponent is making, like, pancakes while playing on Moto. That's my guess. Or maybe they're taking some time off to juggle. Bacon pancakes. Ooh. I do love me some bacon. Opponent confirmed jerk did not offer me pancakes. They give us 25 minutes. Why wouldn't you use all of your 25 minutes? You're just wasting resources. Yep. Got me there. Why win a game in 15 minutes if you can win it in 25 minutes? All right, chat. Q&A time. What do you want to know? I got bored again. Maybe they are in the process of losing connection. Okay, that's fair. Like we can blame it on Moto as much as we can blame it on my opponent. No, I have not decided on my Nick Fit variants. The big deciding factor there is whether or not the new Academy Rector type card is going to be legal when I get around to doing those streams. Because if they are legal, I might try out some super stupid, like, Nick Fit Planeswalker shenanigans. But if it's not legal, I will try something else. Okay, there we go. Opponent has indeed lost connection. How much wood can a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Probably one Chuck Norris, if I were to guess. Stock D&T lists seem to have about 2 flex slots. I see some running just extra planes, others throwing in a cavern or 2, sometimes a horizon canopy. Thoughts on those 2 land slots? So Grumpy Pumpkin, Joe, I think basic planes and basic lands more generally are very, very good right now. I think the value that you're getting against Delver and Red Prison in particular by having basic lands in your deck is absolutely huge. So I'm all about playing basics right now. What store is Progenitus not allowed to go? All right, I'll bite Romario. What store? I haven't heard this one before. Target is the answer for those of you just listening along. All right, well done, Romario. Well done. I should have seen it coming. I really should have, but I was like focusing on the name and I couldn't think of anything. But ooh, thoughts on the likelihood of a Deathrite Shaman ban? 80% plus. I cannot see that card reasonably sticking around in Legacy. You know, again, like the format's becoming Deathrite mush, where your combo, control, and aggro decks are all playing Deathrite Shaman. That's not a good sign. Like there are a number of silly and frustrating things that Deathrite Shaman does. I think the question is not if, but when. And my thought was it was going to happen before GP Richmond in August. But after I think there was like a Team Pro Tour. So my thought was it was going to happen before the August GP. But I might be wrong. So Monohell, let me ask, like, how much Legacy do you play? Because I feel like almost all of the like Legacy grinders and Legacy specialists are like, yeah, that card needs to go. Because I think on the surface it is a bit of an innocuous card where it doesn't look that scary, and then the more you play, the more you realize like, oh, my opponent went C Deathrite Go on the play and I didn't answer it, and now I probably lose the game. Oh, F-Freak, that's a great question. So right now, do you like to play red-white or white-white more? So I think the red deck is better against everything except Delver, but the red deck is like 20% worse against Delver than mono white, and it's also theoretically a little bit worse than red prison, although that's not what my results are showing. So I'm leaning towards playing mono white more. Mono white is worse against Pile and Miracles by a lot, though. So, like, at the end of the day, it probably comes out in the wash. I like a lot of things about my red-white list much better than my mono-white list. Pia and Kieran Nalaar is such good endgame inevitability, and I do really like the Wingmares in that shell. I haven't had as much success with the Wingmares in a mono-white shell. So I can't read what that name is. Let me zoom in. Oh, so Paul, my thoughts on Jotun Grunt are basically that it doesn't work with Rest in Peace, which is one of your best sideboard cards against the format. So it's probably not a playable card for that reason. That's okay. Like, D&T is pretty great against Stompy and Chalice decks, generally speaking. So, like, play a few extra cards in the sideboard to beat up on those, and then just, like, Revoker and Relic Warder them to death, and it'll be fine. I don't think LED or Grizzlebrand are cards that require or need banning at all. Like, Storm's a fine deck. It's in no way one of the best decks of the format right now. And it's the best LED deck, not close. Grizzlebrand is a powerful card, but again, it's not a card you can hardcast. It's a card that opponent has disconnected again. It's not a card that... Alright. And my opponent has lost the game due to inaction for not taking any plays for like 10 minutes. So I should have drawn a card or two there. Do I still have that? I don't have that window up. I should have drawn a card or two to see if I would have like Glimpse Chained off. Because I was going to like end of turn, kill the Leovold, and then very likely go off. It wasn't guaranteed though. I still had some time if I didn't go off completely that turn. But I felt like things were going well. Ah! Julian! Hello! I got a Yoshi and everything. I'm ready to play Elves. I figured that if I wanted to know my enemy, I needed to become my enemy. So I've harnessed my inner Julian. I picked up one of your recent deck lists, and I figured I should dress the part as well. So we're 2-1 currently. 100% on drawing Progenitus after boarding it in, so it's a good day. Let's fight. This is the weirdest timeline. Yep. Time Machine's a little wonky right now. Yesterday it was like 2014 and I was playing Blue-White Stoneblade. Now we've ended up on an alternate world line where Phil is an Elves player. When are you going to play D&T on stream? Probably Monday night. Monday night will be the next D&T stream. I'll probably, like, do a brief debrief of SCG Con, depending on how it goes, and then play... I'll probably play some Red-White Taxes Monday. Now Julian gets to judge me for all of my bad decisions I make. Alright, so I think my opponent is going to be playing a bug pile deck. This hand's fine. So So I can go turn 1, Green Sun Zenith, fetch Dryad Arbor, and then like play a turn 2 Quirion Ranger to untap it and get an additional mana with the Dryad Arbor. And I don't know exactly where we're going from there, but this seems sweet. Thanks, Julian. I remember when this stream tapped lands with Rashadan Port. Okay, so what am I doing this turn? I can just go, like, Deathrite Shaman, Quirion Ranger off Forest. Then next turn be pretty darn close to just, like, Green Sun Zenith for Craterhoof. That seems fine. Am I supposed to play turn 1 Deathrite Shaman because if it lives and I have the Quirion Ranger, I can just, like, make a mana with that as well? That makes sense. So this turn I can't do anything too impressive, I don't think. So I think I just Green Sun for an Elvish Visionary, try to stock up a little bit more. And then if I draw a Glimpse, I'll have a Heritage Druid to get me started. Alright, taking a little bit of a beating here. That's a fine draw. So I think my plan now is get to like get to land and natural order in the same turn, or get to like yeah, I think that's probably my best out. I don't think I want to like try to ram multiple creatures out. That's probably just tempting fate. Like, if I try to race this Lily and my opponent has another removal spell or two, or even something like a Baleful Strix to block the board, I feel like I'm just dead. I'm going to run out the Cradle, so that if I draw a Natural Order, I can go Dryad Arbor, Natural Order. I guess this is an elf I'm okay with casting. That means I have some lines where maybe I do things that matter. This is what? -2, -1. Okay, so I can play a Deathrite Shaman successfully. Although it will be checked by my opponent's Deathrite Shaman, so it probably doesn't do anything. I'm maybe not even supposed to play that and hold it for Glimpse. The subs have been sent a message. They have a job to do. The subs will be choosing my next deck list. My next set of deck lists, I should say, for the the bonus streams. Well, that is unfortunate. Opponent took me off Bayou instead of Cradle. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It does not make a lot of sense to me at all. They don't want me to drain them, but, like, Cradle is my way back into this game. Like, Cradle is what will let me natural order for stupid numbers. Yeah, Romario, if you end up subbing and you don't get to that email, just message me and I will send it to you. It should go to whatever email you have set up with your Twitch account. You also might need to check like your spam filter. I don't know like how high your settings are set there. All right, let's play out some cards. Monohell, thank you very much for subscribing. After this game, I will send you a message that has the link to the submission thing for sub or for follower goals. And Safali, if you don't see it, I will just send it to you directly as well. Let's untap this, bounce this. There's a delicate body for how many... There's like a delicate ratio of how many bodies I want to actually put into play, because I want to keep some stuff for Glimpse. My Wirewood Symbiote is going to die to Liliana, and I know my opponent has Deed. They might have multiple Deeds. Well, yeah, I can dump my hand, but I've already used Wirewood Symbiote, so I don't have any more draws left, Mono Hell. So, like, I can dump my hand, but my board going aggro isn't going to beat the zombie emblem thing. Alright, that's kind of annoying, because that means my Visionary is going down the toilet as well. Yeah, I was planning on bouncing that Visionary, but that was super bad for me. Alright, so this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, so I'm not dead yet. Heart of the cards, indeed. I'm going to play out the Quirion Ranger because it can protect the Dryad Arbor, and that means that Lily might target this instead, which I'm okay with. Come on. No! So I can gain 2 more life, and then I die to a billion D-zombies. Alright, we were still pretty far away from something that mattered. Yeah, like, it is very cool that despite despite things looking so bad for us with that early Lily Last Hope, we did have a very real chance at winning that game. I don't remember what my last cut before was. Another Quirion Ranger? No, it was a Heritage Druid, because I trimmed some Elves. Yeah, Elves is crazy scary. This hand has a natural order, so I'm going to keep it, and Operation Hydra is a go. And I know my opponent plays Wasteland now, so I will just play basic Forest here. I guess I messed up by not playing Thinhorn Elves on turn 1. I didn't think it was going to matter. Forcing the Wirewood. I'm okay with that. Dryad Arbor, not the best draw, but it gives me a good thing to natural order away next turn. Okay. So playing the Quirion Ranger is free. Then I play Dryad Arbor. I tap this for 4 mana. Cast Natural Order. I sacrifice this green creature. Opponent had a Force of Will. That's very bad for me. Unlucky. That's okay. Like, another Natural Order or a Green Sun Zenith will be a crazy good draw. Again! Again with this Liliana the Last Hope thing. I probably can't race this Liliana, assuming my opponent has anything else. So maybe I just go straight for my opponent. No, it's probably wrong to not pressure the Liliana, because if I win, I'm going to win by a lot. It'll also just, like, keep it from ultimating anytime soon, which is how I lost the last game. Come on. Come on. Well, we didn't draw the Progenitus, so there's that. Yeah, the Liliana sisters here are a beating. This means I can't just, like... Now I don't get to, like, save up cards to do something meaningful. This is rough. That's enough of that. We're done. We're done here. Alright, chat, I'm going to take 30 seconds and run to the restroom here, and then we'll go in for our last round of this Elves League. Be right back. Alright, good evening, folks. I guess afternoon still, really. My name's Phil Gallagher. I run ThrabenU University. Today we are playing Legacy Elves here on stream. This is not our normal deck by any means. We're playing the enemy today. This was a follower goal for hitting 900 followers. Okay, and Monohall and F Freak, remind me after this match, and I will get you the survey links since you didn't get them. Sorry, I forgot about that, and I got paired very quickly here. Oh, geez, I think my opponent plays Belcher. This is a mulligan. I can't produce any turn 1 mana. That's probably not acceptable against Belcher. This is fine. I'll put that on top. I will take another land. So I have the possibility to turn 2 with this hand. I go like turn 1, Green Sun Zenith, Dryad Arbor. And then if I draw, or maybe I don't turn 2. No, this is a turn 3 hand. I'm going to fetch my deck to thin here. I know that's like super marginal. But speed matters here, and I'm not on the right side of the equation right now. Okay. I'm probably dead or very close to it. Okay, so it's not Belcher, it's Oops. Which is basically Belcher. Okay, so they're on a Lab Maniac kill. With a new card, Garna the Bloodflame. So when at ETB, you return to your hand all creature cards in your graveyard that were put there this turn, and it happens to give your other creatures haste as well. So it's like marginally better than the Angel of Glory's Rise or the Underworld Cerberus that were played in those slots before. Mindbreak Trap and Leyline seem sweet. The rest of my cards don't really do anything. I do nothing a lot. I think I did. Did I not? Let me write down to check that. So essentially what's happening is that we are playing against an all-in turn 1 combo deck. And they just killed us. Essentially, they returned all the cards from their graveyard back to their hand, all their creature cards, and then they were going to cast a Lab Maniac and draw a card and win the game. Yeah, I think Garnet is better than the Angel. Hey, this was a subscription goal, Zach. Or, sorry, a follower goal. This is for hitting 900. So the whole, like, Elvish Visionary engine is probably kind of slow. So I should probably dump some of that. I guess that means I should dump a Wirewood as well. No, I probably want at least one Visionary for just, like, Green Sun Zenith's target. Can they beat Elder Scale Worm? Yeah, they can beat Elder Scale Worm. I don't know what my last cut is supposed to be. Maybe one of those. No, they can still do the Lab Maniac kill through Elder Scale Worm, because we're playing against Oops. Well, this hand sucks, but I have a ley line, so I keep. I don't think my opponent, like, boards against me, right? Like, isn't the game one plan just faster than what I'm doing, so it's just awesome? Feels like I'm dying. Okay, maybe not dying. Spoils of the Vault can mean that they die, otherwise it's a tutor. Alright, so what did they name? They named Goblin Charbelcher, and they didn't take that much damage. So I'll die to a mana source. Otherwise they die. Well, that's not a mana source. That's a mana source, though. Alright, let's see if we die. I think I died. Okay, like, so be it, right? Like, that happens. So we went 2-3 in this league. We did not cash, but I feel like we were sort of unusually unlucky in many different capacities during this league. Like, Belcher is a deck that's faster than us. The pile decks, like having Liliana of the Veil 2 games in a row, that was a bit of a beating. And against, like, some of the other decks, like, there were just some exceptionally unlucky things. Like, against the Delver deck, we got, like, what was it? Dazed, Forced, Cabal Therapied for, like, my 4 cards that mattered. So that was a beating. But that's okay. I feel like I played okay. I made some small sequencing errors, and I'm sure I could pick apart this video and find, like, some better lines, especially that one time where I just, like, glimpsed off against Miracles. Like, I could have just tried to kill my opponent much sooner, but I opted to wait until I could, like, decay Soothsaying and play Choke as well. But, like, once you're going off with Glimpse, it's kind of irrelevant. You just, you just win. Like, once you have, like, a safe Glimpse, and especially a second Glimpse going, it's hard to lose from there. So that's what I've got going on today. Are there any other subs who were expecting an email that did not get that email? The email sent out should have a link to something that will let you submit potential deck list ideas for the bonus streams I will be doing for followers. I talked to 2 people already who did not get that. Was there anyone else who needed that link? If so, let me know. Yeah, I mean, if you are a sub, you can submit anything, and I'll go in and take a look at that. All right, so basic planes, you didn't get one. There we go. Yeah, sometimes the Twitch email things don't work as well as I'd like them to, or sometimes things get filtered. Yeah, I mean, find some fun deck lists for me. Find some things that will be entertaining for the chat. You know, don't make me waste my time filtering through a whole bunch of crap. But, like, I'm willing to play some oddball and fun decks on stream, even if they don't necessarily have the best win percentages. That's fine. But don't go submitting modern deck lists or anything like that. That's just a waste of my and your time. Okay, so let's talk about the next couple of days. There won't be any streaming this weekend or tomorrow because of SCGCon. So tomorrow will be 2 Legacy events in the morning and afternoon for me. Followed by the D&T meetup tomorrow night. Then Saturday will be the Duel for Duels, and that will be Sunday as well if I'm doing well. Otherwise, I'll rebound and play in the Legacy Challenge. Yeah, no problem. You know, enjoy submitting some fun deck lists there. The Twitch email went through to some people, but not to others. I'm not really sure why. I might just set up, like, a Discord or something like that for announcements or for subs, if this email thing isn't working out so well. I'll keep that in mind for the future. And whoever asked me to check on the Mentor Blade thing, I'll double check on that in just a minute. There should be one Mentor Blade stream and one Blue-White Stone Blade stream. I'll double check and see if those made it to YouTube. All right, well, that's all I've got going on for this afternoon here. I've got evening plans that I have to attend to, and I have to get ready for the events tomorrow. But thank you for watching me. Again, my name's Phil Gallagher. I run Thraben University. There's going to be a lot of Legacy content coming on this channel over the summer, so if you love Legacy, please follow. And if you really love it, consider subscribing. I'll do my best to make it worth your time. All right, take care, folks. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, Zach. I'm looking forward to it.